You know that feeling when you're driving home and you suddenly pull into your driveway and think, wait, I don't remember any of that drive? Yeah, that's your brain on autopilot. In this explainer, we're going to dig into the science of why that happens and, more importantly, how you can grab the steering wheel and take back control. Seriously, ever feel like you're not the one in charge of your own head? You sit down to do one thing and suddenly your brain is planning dinner. You're trying to listen to someone, but your mind is off replaying some dumb thing you said yesterday. If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. And look, the good news is this isn't some personal flaw. You don't have a lack of willpower. It's it's just how our brains are wired to work. But once you understand that wiring, that's the first real step to actually changing it. Okay, so let's get right into the heart of it. Why is our mind so all over the place? What exactly is this autopilot problem we're all dealing with? A massive study from Harvard found something that's kind of shocking. We spend about half, that's 50%, of our waking lives on autopilot. Our bodies are here, but our minds are, well, somewhere else entirely. Just think about that for a second. Half your life, you're not really there for what's happening right in front of you. So, it helps to think of our brain as having two different modes, like an airplane. In conscious living mode, you're the captain. You are in the cockpit, deliberately steering your attention. But in autopilot mode, it's like you've been hijacked by your own thoughts, just running on old habits and conditioned reactions. The problem isn't that autopilot exists, it's that we get stuck there and don't even notice. And get this autopilot state isn't just some internal thing. There are powerful external forces designed to take advantage of it. Sensory marketing, for example. That music in the grocery store, the smell of baked goods, they're talking to your subconscious. As Harvard professor Gerald Zaltman found, a whopping 95% of our buying decisions happen there, and you better believe businesses know it. Okay, but here's where the story gets really, really cool. Because while our brain has this kind of design flaw, it also has this incredible built-in superpower for fixing it. And that superpower has a name: neuroplasticity. It sounds complicated, but it just means your brain isn't set in stone. It's more like plastic. It can be molded and reshaped. Every single thought, every experience, every little practice physically changes your brain. And that's the key. We can intentionally use experiences to rewire our own minds. You know, one of the biggest breakthroughs in neuroscience was realizing our thinking circuits and our emotional circuits are totally tangled up. You can't separate them. And this is fantastic news. It means we can use our conscious thinking brain to actually influence and regulate our emotions instead of just being tossed around by them. So let's meet the two key players in your brain's control system. First, you've got the amygdala. Think of it as your ancient hair trigger alarm system. It's always looking for danger, ready to fire off anxiety and fear. Then you have the prefrontal cortex, the PFC. That's the modern, rational CEO of your brain. And the stronger the communication line is between them, the better your PFC can tell that panicky amygdala, hey, chill out. It's just an email, not a saber-toothed tiger. So how do we strengthen that connection? Well, we start treating our mind like a muscle. So let's head over to the mental gym and talk about how we can build up our focus and self-control. I absolutely love this metaphor, right? Just buying a gym membership doesn't get you in shape. You actually have to show up and do the work. It's the exact same thing with mindfulness. You need a purpose to start, the patience to trust it's working even when you can't see it, the commitment to stick with it, and, this is the most important one, self-compassion. You have to be kind to yourself. You wouldn't scream at your bicep for not being able to lift 100 pounds on day one. Okay, let's just bust the biggest myth right now. Mindfulness is not about having a perfectly empty, blank mind. That's pretty much impossible. The real rep, the real workout, happens in that split second you notice, oh, hey, my mind wandered off again. That moment of awareness is the practice. Every time you catch your mind and gently bring it back, you've just done another mental push-up. So we've been hitting the mental gym. Now what? How does this actually translate into real-world changes? Well, this is where we start rewiring those deep, automatic emotional reactions. This quote from Viktor Frankl just nails it. A stimulus happens, someone cuts you off in traffic. Your automatic knee-jerk response is rage. Mindfulness practice starts to widen that tiny little gap between the event and your reaction. It creates a space, and in that space, that's where your freedom lies. That's where you get to choose. You have to remember, our brains are still running on software that was built for survival in the jungle. Envy was useful. It made sure we kept up with the rest of the tribe. Anger helped us fight for our share. But today, in the zoo of modern life, those instincts become these useless compulsions. So the mindful solution isn't to get rid of the feeling, but to choose a different action, like using gratitude to short-circuit envy, or just asking yourself, was getting that angry really necessary? Here is an awesome, practical tool that's straight up biology. It's called the 90-second rule. When a thought triggers an emotion, your body gets flooded with chemicals. But, and this is the amazing part, if you can stop feeding that thought, if you can just observe it without getting hooked, that entire chemical reaction washes out of your body in about 90 seconds. You just have to ride the wave. So what do you do in those 90 seconds? You can use this super simple 3-step breathing space. Step 1, awareness. Just do a quick scan of your body. Notice any tightness or clenching. Step 2, breathing. Just gather up all your attention and focus it on a few slow, deep breaths. And step 3, smiling. This sounds cheesy, but just invite a gentle, soft smile to your face. This little sequence uses your mind-body connection to hit the brakes on the stress response, right in the moment. Okay, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. What's the real long-term payoff for all this practice? Because it's about so much more than just managing stress. It's about fundamentally reclaiming your attention and with it, your life. And this isn't just some feel-good idea. The return on investment is backed by hard science. We're talking studies that show just 10 minutes of practice can boost GRE scores. 25 minutes can actually lead to better, more efficient sleep. And 45 minutes a day, that's been linked to dramatically fewer sick days. This isn't just about feeling better, it's about performing better across the board. And really, this is the ultimate prize. We all have a sort of default level of happiness we tend to drift back to. It's called the hedonic treadmill. Well, mindfulness is one of the very few things that's been scientifically proven to actually lift that entire baseline up. So it's not just about coping with the bad days, it's about creating a higher level of well-being overall. This quote from Shauna Shapiro just perfectly wraps everything up. Because of neuroplasticity, your brain is always being shaped by what you do. The only question is, are you doing the shaping on purpose? Whatever you repeat, whether it's distraction or focus, reacting or responding, that's what your brain gets better at. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. In every moment of every day, with every thought you choose to engage with, you are making a choice. You're either strengthening those old, compulsive autopilot patterns, or you're building the mental muscle for freedom. The choice is always yours.